Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to give you guys a little update on where we're at with the market in Arundel County specifically. I kind of might branch out a little bit, cover a couple of the other counties, Baltimore metropolitan area in general. I just wanted to give you a year-end update. Like I said, 2018 year-end review and maybe what we could look forward to in 2019. So get started, and we're just looking at some of the closed sales for Anne Arundel County for 2018. You can definitely see the seasonality in our market here in Central Maryland. Inventory is down. We definitely will have fewer buyers in the buying pool in the winter months. You can see from January of last year, we were down 10% on closed sales, so quite a significant drop. December 2017 to 2018, year over year, we're down almost 20%. So 533 closed transactions in all of Anne Arundel County, a significant drop off. So I'm going to take a look real quick. I'm going to sneak back on a 3-year review so we can take a look at something fairly interesting. You can even take it back 5 years. And you can clearly see from this graph on closed sales, obviously, the seasonality shows up. But more importantly, I think we are seeing something else here. We might see the beginnings of a shifting market from closed sales. And you can see that 2018 was the first year in quite a while, if I go back 8-10 years, that we saw a decline in closed sales in our peak market. And you can go back even December down 19%, November down 13.4% year over year, down 10.9%. Down September of 2018, we were down 6.3%. So there's definitely a transition in a shifting market. Maybe a couple things showing up there. There was a lot of volatility in the markets, potential trade war with China. There was also some things going on where the government shutdown happened at the beginning of this year, and there was talk about that. So a lot of things that are coming out of the gates probably are going to hurt our numbers early in 2019. I don't see the market, especially in Central Maryland, dropping off that significantly. We still have rates are still historically low. We thought that maybe 2019 was going to show up with 3 rate increases from the Fed, which would show up in a mortgage interest rate increase. We're probably looking at maybe 1 now for the year because the economy overall is pretty strong, certainly really strong in Maryland. We think and we believe that the millennials will finally kind of jump in full force over the next 2 to 3 years in the first-time home buying market. They've really put that off. If you look at marriage rates and families or different demographics starting a family, you can tell that the millennial generation has kind of put off home ownership. They've put off marriage, but now it's kind of catching up to them as far as getting married, starting families. And we know what happens when you start a family. You kind of look for homes. You look for homes in certain school districts, maybe in the suburbs, and you're certainly less likely to be renting if you can, in fact, afford it. So I think that'll push the first-time homebuyer market, which in turn will push the middle markets and the higher-end markets. The higher-end markets have been pretty stagnant. A lot of that has to do with the bottom of the market, and our entry-level buyers haven't really been showing up. So there's that. So again, let's kind of take it back. Just 1 year closed sales we're looking at. You can see where that's at. New pendings. Let's take a peek at that. Again, the seasonality of the market. In December, looks like we're right around the same change. November was down. October down. We'll go back a couple of years here. We'll go back 3 years. And again, we can see the downshift started to show up. It looks like last year, and now it's showing up in our closed sales numbers the downshift started showing up towards the end of 2017. Definitely showed up in our closed numbers in 2018. Let's look at some pricing trends. Median sold sales price. Again, in Anne Arundel County, $338. So that is up 2.1%. And maybe the reason that is the price point's being driven up because inventory is very low. So law of supply and demand, inventory is low, seller controls the market a little bit more, prices are going up. We'll look back again 3 years, take a look and see. You can see a steady incline. So our price point hasn't been affected yet because, again, we're low on inventory. And I would expect that to still be the case. I think prices are going to hold fairly steady. And we've been insulated again in the Central Maryland markets because of our economy, jobs, education industry, healthcare industry. And then we have a lot of service members, Fort Meade, and the cyber and intel industries that have picked up. I believe we're looking at 5,000 new jobs in cybersecurity over the next few years in the Central Maryland area. So all that is kind of insulating us from big swings in the market. So that's really good. Days on market. Big shift for days on market through the past 3 years. Let's go back and look at 2018. Days on market down 48 days in November. Look at May of last year. 35 days was the median days on market in Anne Arundel County, which is incredible. And that was down from 2017, 12.5%. So obviously the same things in place there. Low inventory, driving days on market down, driving prices a little bit up. And that's what you have. And I think we'll still continue to see fairly low days on market, 35 days, median days on market for Anne Arundel County in May of last year. Unbelievable, because there's a lot of new construction out there that's sitting, short sales, bank-owned properties, distressed properties. And if 35 days is the median days on market, we know we had a lot of properties go under contract in the first few days. So something to keep an eye on there, and we'll keep an eye moving forward. Hopefully the spring market brings back some inventory, and that continues to stable out a little bit. Supply and demand, we're sitting at almost 3 months supply and demand for Anne Arundel County right now in December. Again, another indicator of a seller's market, fairly strong seller's market. Typically a balanced market is between 5 and 7 months. We get over 6 months, we start looking at it as a buyer's market or through the lens of a buyer's market. But you can see December, months of supply, up year over year. Take a peek. November was up. So we're tracking up, even though we're still in a strong seller's market. I'm thinking hopefully inventory is coming back. As long as we have kind of a stabilization in the markets and consumer confidence, and we'll get some of our supply back certainly for the spring market, no doubt. But that should drive some of our numbers as well. Anything else we want to take a peek at here? Just remember, keep in mind, if you have any questions about that, just give us a call, let us know, and we can help you out. All real estate is local, so particularly to certain neighborhoods. Obviously, in Anne Arundel County, things are different from neighborhood to neighborhood, zip code to zip code. The larger markets are still looking pretty strong. But if you have any particular area that you need further information about, just give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to help with that. Price per square foot, we were using kind of a $200 price per square foot for all homes as a very generalized benchmark. That seems to be holding steady. We're down almost 10% for all homes combined to $181 price per square foot in December. Show up here, and we'll look at the difference between detached homes and townhomes. The detached home price in December is $191 price per square foot. If you look at the overall market, if you look at the blue line, all of them, you can see how we were definitely a little above the 200 Mendoza mark there, so to speak. So we have dipped down a little bit, price per square foot. We'll keep an eye on that. Sales price to original list price. Last thing we'll look at, again, another indicator of a really strong market. 97% sales price to original list price. Again, just reaffirming that strong sellers market. So sellers, if they're pricing their house appropriately and it looks good, shows well, and they're showing up with some staging, they're getting almost full price. In some cases, obviously, if the median price, sold price to original list price is 97%, we know some homes are going over and getting above list price. So very important if you're pricing your house to sell. Be realistic. Put it out there at a market price. Get a professional opinion of market valuation, and maybe you'll get a bidding war. So that's kind of wraps us up for Anne Arundel County. If there are any questions, again, hit us up on an email or just shoot or give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Hope everything's going well. Hope everyone has a prosperous 2019, and we look forward to continuing to help lots of families with their dream of home ownership. So take care.